On that day, humanity received a grim reminder. Termina is a game with a lot of potential. The multitude of different characters and all the possible situations available to the player is definitely the strongest point of this game. It opens up a lot of space for replayability, and in the case of today, challenge rounds. Welcome, I'm Frapollo94, and today we're gonna try to answer to one simple question. Can you beat Maso mode without a wheelchair in Fear and Hunger Termina?
Bones.
Allow me to quickly go over the rules to then jump straight up into the gameplay. What are the rules for Maso mode no wheelchair? And I want you to pay attention because this is very difficult and complex, okay? In Maso mode no wheelchair, we have to play on Maso mode as Olivia, and we can't use the wheelchair. Yeah, crazy, right? In case you don't know, Olivia without a wheelchair is much slower in the movements and cannot use the normal attack in battle. Combine this with the fact that on Maso mode, if you stay outside for too long, Rare is just gonna moon scorch you out of nowhere, and you created the perfect mix for a disastrous run. But there is another thing I want to specify. When I did this challenge, I didn't really have the biggest knowledge. I finished my blind run on the 18th of April 2023 and started the challenge on the 2nd of May. And even now, I am still studying Termina, but don't worry, Termina videos will arrive very soon. If only the developer hurries up with that stupid update! And on top of all this was my very first Maso mode run. Heh, for sure doing a challenge run is the best way to enjoy Maso mode, right? But if you think about all of this together, why did I want to make this challenge right now? It is actually quite simple. You have no idea about the excitement I had in being able to stream games. This was a year ago. I had recently bought a microphone which allowed my voice to not sound like this.
You have to do two simple things. First of all, you have to navigate the dungeon and...
Yeah, and I really wanted to create something special that could celebrate the moment by offering you countless hours of me suffering, because that's the thing you like the most. Me... suffering. And also, in this time, I still had the old laptop, who was barely able to run Minesweeper flags without lagging. I swear, that laptop was terrible! I opened Discord and the PC would start overheating. I am starting to feel nostalgia. You know what, let's just start with the challenge. We have to reach Father Hugo? Kill Father Hugo? I still have no idea about how to kill him. I mean, that's not exactly a plan, that's more a general direction. We still have to think about how to do everything. And of course, to start the challenge, you open the menu and remove the wheelchair. Congratulations, we can officially start. As usual, I never really test these rounds before actually playing with you, because I want to have the first time experience and the first time reactions to everything. Are you ready to hear the first piece of trivia? In the zone outside of the terrain, Rare will not moonscorch you the first time you go here. After you go above near the woodsman house, or on the right near the river, then Rare will start attacking you even in this zone right here. But for now, we are safe and we can slowly walk around... we can slowly crawl around. Since, as I told you, it's my first Maso run, and I have never played without the wheelchair, you know, I just prefer to play with the wheelchair when I play as Olivia. I need to first enter into the mood of the challenge, understand the time we require to move between zones, understand how to juke opponents, and that's why, after finding the scheme bible of the god of fear and hunger, I made one very bad mistake and fought the woodsman. No! Run is over! I think this fight is important though, to explain you what is the problem. We can't kill anything for now. The attack does not work because it requires us to be on the wheelchair, and we don't really have any spells or items that are able to deal damage in the current moment. So yeah, if we enter into a battle, we are kinda screwed. This first part of the challenge is literally just understanding how to maneuver the whole zone. You know one thing I despise about Termina? There are uselessly long corridors with nothing inside. And those corridors... those freaking corridors are gonna be one of the main problems of today's challenge. Olivia is incredibly slow, we will need to enter into houses multiple times to reset the rare timer, all of these with those long stupid corridors outside. Even though, on one side, it was kinda intriguing. We have to plan how to move from point A to point B, considering also all the opponents in between. Remember, we are crawling, yes, we can still kite somehow, but it's gonna be much harder and much more difficult when there are multiple opponents in there. We may say that on one side, this was able to give me a new perspective on Termina, but I think it's time to talk about what to do to enter into the city. There are multiple ways to do that. You could get one key from the bunker and one key from the mayor, you could use a short circuit plus a small key in the sewers. We just have to understand which way is better to traverse. And I died even before reaching the mayor's manor. Perfect! Let's look at the positive side. It's better to lose earlier rather than to lose later after 30 minutes of progresses without having saved, right? And that's why I took advantage of this moment to try multiple stuff without caring about losing resources or anything. And that's why I started to experiment. Even in the intro section, by the way. In there, dependently from your choices, you can traverse a certain route with different skills, or another route which opens up the space for the pinecone pig, for example, with the Vinushka Bible. I tried fighting the woodsman by poisoning him with the poison hemlock, which worked. What? Yes! 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 We defeated the woodsman! Yes! Reached the circle in which you can get the pinecone pig and realized, wait, I don't have the chalk! I have to go into the city! Remember that in the village there is a shop in which you can buy chalk, so I tried to go in there, got surrounded, and died. Then I tried to reach the manor again. Give me a bolt cutter or something good, please. Book of Enlightenment! Book of Enlightenment! Book of Enlightenment is incredibly useful, but it's also very rare. And that's why I decided to hold on this one, at least until the mayor's manor. Let's hope nothing bad happens until then. Imagine dying after you get a Book of Enlightenment. No, no. 19 damage. Okay, that's good. That's good. No. Come on. Bro! I guess karma gives, karma takes. By this point at least, we consistently learned how to reach the village without any problems. But here I was starting to realize the second problem. How do we go back to the village after we go to the manor? I think I left multiple opponents near the exit, the vial got triggered because we entered into the new zone, and the death mask can spawn. At least we reached the mayor's manor and finally got the first key from the mayor. And that was another loss. You know, here, every time you die, you have to traverse again the terrain, go to the woodsman house, finally the village, and then the mayor's manor, all by looting everything, hoping to get something good. This is maybe the most tedious part of the run. Oh wait, sorry, the most tedious part for now. But at least we're improving in the best route to take each time. Okay, I was able to do it! Okay. It seems like a coin flip is needed to decide. No. I was able to do it, that's why I'm gonna follow it. Did you see? By this point, with a little bit of cold blood and nerves of steel, we can traverse this part while casually discussing with the chat. And so the time went on. Here we're gonna do a big time jump because nothing really interesting was happening. We were just retrying over and over again the same thing. Imagine playing Undertale but you don't have anything of the cool stuff you have when you reload the game every time. Then you can add some mutilation, a bird trap, I don't know, some monsters, and then multiply it by 10 and you have my run. After an embarrassing amount of time, we finally were able to reach the moon-scorched part of the village. That's great! We can enter into the city from here. There is a door that leads to there. You know what's the problem? We need the short circuit for that. And with this character, I did not take short circuit during the intro. Whatever, that's not a problem. At least we know this part of the village is safely reachable and you can even go back. Why there is a death mask here? Okay, I lost my arms. I think I'm screwed now. Can I move even without arms? Bro! Bro! Oh, I didn't know Olivia without arms was still able to move. How does that even work? I guess this is useful to know. If I remember correctly, it was around 1 hour before the end of the first stream that I realized something. Pinecone Pig is the way to go, definitely. It can give us small keys which enable one of the entrance of the city, items to generate murky vials, a lot of useful stuff. So that's the current plan I have now, defeat the woodsman and get the pinecone pig. After that, I don't know. I mean, let's start by doing that, then we think about what to do. It's not gonna be the easiest task in the world, we're gonna require some time to do it. Okay, done. Venushka! Now, our faithful companion, Pinecone Pig. After all this time, this was like a 5 hours stream, and finally, after 5 hours, we finally got a single progress. Slasher. You know, it's almost painful rewatching this. It's almost painful because I relive a trauma I thought I forgot completely about after 1 year. But I apparently didn't forget anything. Everything is still inside of me. Was this first stream completely useless? Fortunately, I did not feel like that, otherwise we wouldn't have continued the challenge. You know, even if we didn't do any concrete progresses, we still are grasping the mood of this run, where to go, how to kite opponents, how to maneuver Olivia in this run, we're understanding the time we have to go through zones, we kinda understood some useful stuff. Or maybe I'm just coping hard because I don't want to admit I wasted 5 hours of my life, but this is the end of the first stream. Stream number 2 starts with another attempt in which we just lost with not being able to do anything else. But then we created a new character, kid named Static. You know why? Do you remember I told you I am still on my old laptop in this stream? Well, let's say for some reason on that old PC the new microphone sometimes would just make some static sound. In this flawless attempt, we were able to reach the manor once again, and now, somewhere, a benevolent Olmir smiled at me. And Book of Allah, guys, chapter. Okay, guys. We are gonna use the Book of Enlightenment immediately! We also have the Chapter of Oldmere. This time I learned from the last attempt that it's better to pop the Book of Enlightenment immediately. No more stuff with the terrain, no more stuff by going to the woodsman, no more stuff by going to the village, no. Now we start from the Mayor's Manor, every time. You may say that's a waste, you did not spend 6 hours of your life dying over and over again and redoing the same exact thing. For my plan I have both Venushka and the Short Circuit. The problem is that we still didn't drop the required small key to be able to access the sewers. How do we do that? Well, we have a save in front of the Mayor's Manor, and in the manor itself there are several bases. Yeah, I think you know where I'm going with this. We are gonna save Scum. It's kinda ironic that I made this video after I made the video about one-shotting everyone in Fear and Hunger, because if you watch that, you may already know I'm not exactly the biggest lover of save scamming, but there is nothing else to do. And so, we started resetting over and over again, hoping to get a small key from the bases. At least this situation gave me a lot of time to be able to talk to you, to the chat, and we had some pretty interesting discussions. At one point we talked about how trash are gacha games, for example, and after I think 40 minutes I spent into literal hell, we got our key. Please? Small key! Okay! Now, rush all the way to the sewer. Oh, whoa. Crawl all the way to the sewers. It's already the second time I make this, can I even call it a joke? It only required a grand total of 7 hours up to now to just enter into the city, without having fought anything yet, of course. But there was a problem. A problem that wears a white pajama on a person called Neighbor. He stands in the way that allows me to access the city, but I had a murky vial, so I just decided to roll with it. If only I had known what was gonna come. You see, in that specific road, there is a much bigger problem. Not only there is a rat hag on the road, which with some decent practice can still be juked, but also there is a beehive. This trinity of Neighbor, Rat Hag, and Beehive was unbeatable, without incredibly good RNG in my current conditions. But hey, didn't you forget something? Let's restart the farm for a small key! Man, I wish I had the pinecone pig by this moment. But back there are death masks, the villagers, the vial. We're gonna find the pinecone pig later, okay? But about that, what if instead we go to Shagnar territory?
Pummel? Oh!
I guess it wasn't really a good idea. More small key farm. Hooray!
Bro? Game has encountered a bug. Please report it.
Even the game is starting to be tired of my continuous deaths. I swear, by this point I had a feeling I never perceived in almost any other challenges I did on the channel. I started to feel defeated? Maybe the challenge is just not doable. Maybe it's just too hard. But then, the worst thought I could have ever had crossed my mind. What if I am the problem? Maybe I'm just not knowledgeable enough for this. It is my first Maso mode run. Am I really able to do this? It's almost sad. Whenever I make challenges in Fear and Hunger 1, my confidence is stellar. I am calm, I am relaxed because of the amount of time I spend in the game. I know a lot of stuff, I know a lot of ways to turn the tables to help me during the challenges. In here, I feel hopeless. Maybe this challenge is just not for me. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's this feeling the problem. The feeling that I can't do this. The feeling that I'm not good enough is blocking me. I don't know what to do. Actually, there is something I can do.
Do you think I should fight Moonless?
Up to now, I just decided to run away from everything, skipping all the possible obstacles. Maybe that's the real problem. If I don't take a risk, I will never know if I'm able to do it or not. I am very scared about what's gonna happen. But someone once said to me, being brave doesn't mean not being scared. Being brave means doing something despite being scared.
I think nothing. I can set up the gasoline canister. Okay. Alright, go! Boom! Here we are! Blind that stupid moron, please! Blind it! Please, gaping bite. Okay. Okay, now it's blinded. Okay, guard. Come on. Okay. Okay. Miasma Cloud. Let's see the damage from the Miasma Cloud. 19 damage. That's not bad. I wasn't poisoned. The music, by the way, fantastic. I love it. Mixed Herbs heals 75. Mixed Herbs time. Come on, miss. Okay, right bow. Okay. Come on. 20. Yes! Yes!
We really did it! After all this time, everything I needed to do to be able to unlock this situation was just take some risks, some real risks. We have all the capacities of being able to defeat this challenge, and definitely the Moonless moment is the main thing that gave me enough confidence to continue the challenge. And so, we finally enter into the Church of Oldmere and use our Skin Bible of the God of Fear and Hunger to create another save spot. After 9 hours of playtime, we finally entered into the city, and we saved. And this is the end of the second stream. So, for the third stream... Oh, wait! I think it's time to start mentioning something. You see, at the time, I still didn't have the current starting soon animation. I had just an image of the game we were playing, and an horrible starting soon writing. For this challenge, I decided to make something special. I was gonna add something new as we proceeded with these streams. The first one was the vanilla screen. The second one was the moon god has noticed you, and for this third stream, I added a glitched image of Rare appearing and disappearing on the screen. We're gonna keep adding stuff as we proceed, and I will mention all the differences. Useless to say, after the last stream, hope was exploding. But it was not the time to feel cocky. That's why we started with a recollection of thoughts, remembering where all the Moonscorched should be in the game. All the places we can go to, and all the enemies we should face in those places. The biggest problem we realize is that we have to deal with both Cocoon and Sergal on the way to the upper part of the tower. And let me specify something. Some of you may know the glitch in which if you escape from the battle against Cocoon, Cocoon will instantly die, okay? Don't ask me why it works like that, okay? But anyways, we will not do this. We are trying to use the least amount of glitches possible in this run. But enough chatting, let's go back to the gameplay. After checking our surroundings, it's clear. It's very difficult, if not impossible, to go from the church to the bookstore. There is just not enough time. Or, I mean, technically there is a way. It's a mechanic for which, when you win a battle against an opponent, Rare Timer gets instantly reset. But I didn't know about it at the time, and regardless, how do you want me to kill a Bobby in the current moment exactly? So yeah, for now we won't go to the bookstore. And now it's time to start with the experimentation again. I first was thinking about bear trapping the Death Mask in the Moonscorched village in order to create a safer route between the church and the Mayor's Manor. Then I tried again to go through the sewers to reach the city, and I realized in that precise moment, there is another way in the sewers to enter into the shopping district. A corridor with a rat hag and Doppel Levi. We found a bear trap. My strategy was bear trap the rat hag, then kill her in battle after she loses balance, so her head will be vulnerable, and then Murky Vial Doppel Levi. Go! Yes! Levi sucks even as a doppelganger. Everything went according to plan? I'm almost confused that what I thought was gonna happen actually happened. Does that mean... Make me hear that sound. Make me hear that freaking sound! Oh... Welcome, guys, to home. The Preheval Bop is my favorite place in all the Fear and Hunger franchise. A place in which you can relax, you can just enjoy your time, and forget for a second about the horrors that wait outside. In here, being able to hear this music, I felt relaxed. I felt confident. It felt like if my mental sanity finally came back for a second. Now, remember, we have the Skin Bible of the God of Fear and Hunger, but I decided something. Not a lot of stuff happened before the last save file, so I thought it's better if before saving I actually go around and explore and loot some stuff, okay? After all, as long as we pay attention, nothing bad is gonna happen.
No! No!
And just like that, my mental sanity is thrown out of the window again! It is time to redo the exact same procedure, with one little difference. This time, we are not gonna search for a bear trap for the rat hag. We are just gonna juke the rat hag, because we are getting better and better at juking wheelchairless. There is a sort of evolution in my playstyle, as you can see. Maybe this could have been fixed more easily by, you know, learning the game before doing this challenge, but still. We are back at the Preheval Bop, and you would think I learned my lesson, right? No, I learned absolutely nothing. Let's still not save. We have only a couple more New God circles, we can't absolutely waste them. My main plan at the moment is to try to kill our next important opponent, Father Hugo. Why killing Father Hugo? Because in that way, we get the Headmaster's key, and with that, we can open a room that leads to a Hexen. And we will talk more about this room later. Take the Leechmonger ring on the road, and now the path to the orphanage is completely safe. For the love of Olmir! I am starting to despise all the death masks in the universe. No, actually, on that note, the death mask is one of the most problematic opponents in this run so far. Not being able to just run away from them, they are placed in some strategic positions where everywhere you want to go, you have to deal with one at some point. That's it, the death mask is the strongest opponent in Olivia Maso mode, no wheelchair, no cap. A few moments later. Said like this so I don't get the copyright from SpongeBob. Finally, we are in the orphanage. The orphanage, you maybe don't know, has another name. It's also called My Worst Nightmare. This place, in a normal run, is one of the best zones of Termina. Multiple libraries, multiple low HP enemies which you can kill just with a Luger pistol for the heads. There is even the potential to get a ring of Verates with the talking board. And there are even some guaranteed soulstones on the ground or from the priest. In short words, a very good place. Without a wheelchair, what happens? Pain. Your peaceful and friendly exploration becomes a continuous juke of dozens of cherubs between the tables, where even a single the wrong step, or a moment of lag, considering my laptop, can cause you to restart from the literal beginning, all in the attempt to be able to reach Father Hugo's room. And Father Hugo, that's even worse! How can I describe the fight with Father Hugo in the best way possible? Okay, fighting Father Hugo in this, it's like trying to fight a dinosaur using a spoon. I think that's the correct answer, yeah. He burns you. There is a scorched earth, so you take 3 times more damage from burn attacks. He does burst attacks, of course, with both of the hands. All the preparation we can do for this battle, if I can even call it preparation at this point, is just using the pep pill and then using a purifying talisman to take less damage and see if there is even enough time to win because of a dot.
Let's go!
Okay. That was unexpected. First try, Father Hugo? There is something fishy going on. No. There is no way it's that easy. I mean, you too should think there is something fishy as well. Why do you think I made all this premise about the orphanage, if we did it first try?
Cookie Cat, thank you so much for the $5, my friend. Do you like Crow Molar? Yes. What do you mean?
And what about you guys? Do you like Caromolar? Alright, then I think it's time to present you Caromolar of Wish. You know, as I told you, it's my first Maso run. It's the first time I saw the Gold Bros in the game. And the funniest part is I don't even feel sad because of this death. This was peak cinema for me. I feel like discovering new content while in a hopeless situation like this. My adrenaline was on the roof. I was feeling fear. I was feeling fear. It's been a while since the last time fear and hunger made me feel fear. Then, of course, after a couple of minutes I started crying because I lost all the progresses, but still. I had no idea about how to deal with the Galbros, so I just decided to start experimenting somewhere else. I tried going back to the village, I tried exploring the alternate rare dimension in the orphanage to maybe get the effigy and just leave Father Hugo for later. I tried exploring the church for the other effigies, I tried checking the sewers, over and over again, for around 2 hours. The worst part is this stream does not even have an happy ending. We just kept dying over and over again, not being able to do anything. Even if we miraculously deal with Father Hugo, there are the Galbros. If we go in the other zones, there are the death masks. It's kinda weird. I wasn't having any more fun playing. I felt like if the game was playing with me. Like if I was enslaved to the game. Why am I doing this? Does this even have a purpose? What lies at the end of the road? Once we reach the tower, will we finally be free? That's the end of the 3rd stream. To err is human. To persevere is foolish. Change of plans. It is clear by this point that the amount of items we have is not enough to come up with a consistent enough plan to deal with the orphanage. So, once we find a small key in the church, here is the new cooking idea I have. We have the skin Bible of God of Fear and Hunger and Venushka. Maybe it is finally time to take advantage of the Venushka one. You see, There is a way to go back to the village from here that doesn't require passing near any death masks. We can in fact go through the sewers. There is only one little problem about this road. It's a one-way ticket. Why? Because once we go back, there is gonna be Shagnar waiting for us. Miraculously, on the first attempt, we were safely able to go all the way back to the Woodsman house, and it's time to fight the Woodsman.
Are you ready, guys? There it is! I saw it! Oh, hello there, you stupid moron! Next turns. I lost an arm. Boom!
We may have lost one arm during the battle, but at least, finally, after all this time, after all these streams, we do have the pinecone pig in a safe moment. Why do I say a safe moment? Because now, once we go back to the village, it's time to use the sigil of God of Fear and Hunger to create a new save file with the pinecone pig in our inventory. It's still not over though. We still need a way to set up a consistent farm with the pinecone pig, and here, unfortunately, it's not possible. I tried setting up a decent farming method with one of the villagers nearby, but it's not the correct time to do it. We were keeping failing over and over. If only we can reach the moon-scorched village. There are gonna be the moon-scorched villagers to farm. We need to go back. We need to fight Shagnar. In case you don't know, Shagnar is a very powerful opponent. Both the arms are able to attack each turn, there is also a coin flip attack on top of that, and also, she's able to perform Doomsday Trumpet, which essentially is able to kill in 2 turns your character. Seems a pretty desperate situation, right? Well, there is something we can use to our advantage though. You see, I think the developer forgot about this. Apparently Doomsday Trumpet only works on Levi, Dan, Bella against Shagnar, Marina, Black Kalev, and a goal. Eh? This is just my own personal theory, but I think it's because those characters are those already present in the demo, and in the demo there was already Shagnar, and maybe for Gore to change it later on. I don't know.
Okay, let's use a blue vial. Now we can use it, because the necklace is still triggered. We should be fine. Shagnar should die. Please? Miss! Yes! Yes! Boom! Shagnar defeated! Boom!
Huh. Things are going well, and this time I feel pretty confident. Alright, it's time to go back to the church. Use the elevator to go to the moon-scorched part of the village, because it's time to farm. What you do is you go to the shack near the water, because in there is a moon-scorched villager very close to one of the doors. The plan is very simple. They don't fight back, you can just enter into the battle, escape, do it a couple of times, and then just to be sure that the rare does not kill you, just enter into the house. It's not completely automatic, but for the current moment, it's the best thing available to us. Also, I took advantage of this moment to have some very interesting discussions with the chat.
Elite Guard, smash or pass?
I mean, they are interesting, technically. And this continued for a good hour. Man, I'm missing the time when half of a stream was just farming with the pinecone pig, like in Ragnavaldr as ending item only. Why did we farm? We wanted to get 99 shillings. The idea is to go to Dr. Keffer and buy Small Things Amulet. We need an inherent extra turn. And more importantly, we need 20 agility. Why? Because that will allow you to use the battle menu escape to be able to escape from almost all the enemies in the game. Basically allowing us to go wherever we want, whenever we want. Except for some particular cases we will mention very soon. I decided to save because it's been a while since the last save and I think we deserve it, especially after this 1 hour of farming. Go to Dr. Keffer, buy a Small Things Amulet, get other shillings, and then buy the second Small Things Amulet. This point right here. We can farm with the pinecone pig with the majority of the enemies of the game, and we can escape from all of them 100% of the time. By farming enough, we can get the items for a Murky Vial, and Murky Vial deals damage and burns. I could of course spend 1000 hours right now and get 99 of all the available items from the pinecone pig pool. But there is a problem. Despite my desire for the success of this challenge, I am human. I was so tired in that moment. Everything I wanted was to accomplish something. That's why I approached Hugo one last time. So as I was saying, I approached the cherubs to be able to farm. Not a lot of course, but just for some stuff. Before Hugo battle, this time I also had the blue route, which allows you to have HP regen during the battle. Man, I'm getting Vietnam flashbacks of the Ragnarvalder as ending item only. Do you remember that?
No? Oh, baby, yes!
We are back at the Gold Bros. You know what's the difference? Now, every time we enter into battle with them, we can escape, and escape, and escape, until we are the hell out of that stupid orphanage. Also, collecting the effigy. Unfortunately, in this moment we don't have an open way to save, but it shouldn't be a problem. After all, we're able to escape from everything. As long as we don't get multiple enemies surrounding us, we should be fine.
Mob!
What did they say about multiple enemies? Is the game listening to me? Not only the mob is very fast, but also as you saw, we couldn't even have a consistent control of our movements for how much luck they had. The only options we had was to reset or to try to kill them. But that's when I realized this is the exact same situation as Moonless. We have to believe in ourselves, and we are gonna be able to do everything. Or maybe not, I guess. And that's the end on another loss of Stream 4. For the 5th stream, I added the peculiar La Danse Macabre animation of Olivia on the starting soon screen, because, you know, you will never see this in the run. Because we don't have a wheelchair. It's been 2 streams that we are stuck at Father Hugo. We have to start this one with a bang. And that's why, off camera, I farmed with the pinecone pig, to be sure to be fully prepared for today's fights. I mean, I placed the part 1 thing beforehand, because I know I wasn't gonna end it today, but still, it's still the finale. With this farming, we should be able to do great things.
I swear if I die here...
Guys, did something bad happen in your life recently? I don't know, did you get fired from your job, maybe you broke up with your partner or something similar? Okay, I want you to rethink about that moment, and now compare it to this. Who do you think is suffering more? Imagine if you're on a stage, okay? And you're supposed to play the piano. You prepared a lot for it, are so ready, and are so excited for everything. You literally piss yourself in front of everyone when you're going to play. That's what I felt when I died after all that farming. But you know, it's a stream, we cannot just cry in a corner and rethink about our life and the stupidity of starting a Maso run without having ever played in Maso mode. No, the show must go on.
Goodbye!
You know, actually, fuck this game. Let's farm on stream with the cherubs. Let's try to get 99 shillings after already having 2 small things amulet. Why? We are gonna buy the hardened heart. I always had this idea in my mind as a last resort option, and it seems we are in that moment. For those that don't know, if you are at least at 2 HP and you take damage, you will stay at 1 HP with the hardened heart. So, we position ourselves in the orphanage. I changed the keyboard settings to be able to click only near buttons, and with the preparations done, the farming can start. The hardened heart is finally in our hands. We are invincible. Let's finally enter into Father Hugo for the real last time.
Boom! Ah! I didn't burn... anything! No! Let's use the extra turn to burn the torso. Was it burnt now? No! No!
God damn it. That has to be the worst RNG I have ever seen in applying burn to an opponent. Retrospectively, I think this is the one stream of this challenge run I found the most frustrating. There is nothing I learned from it, there is nothing I saved from it in my heart, in my brain. No, actually, something in my brain, yes, but I don't think I can say it out loud. I'm rethinking about it all while recording the audio for this, and I almost want to smash my head against the wall. This stream was legitimately useless. Except for La Danse Macabre in the starting soon screen. You just listened to 4 hours and 34 minutes of a stream in 3 minutes and 40 seconds. I still had one last ace up my sleeve to play. It was time to take advantage of the last strategy I could think of. But this required a lot of time and dedication. And that's why I prepared it before the actual stream. What we did is very simple. First of all, buy the 2 small things amulet from Dr. Keffer. Then, go through the sewers and juke Levi and the old lady with some tactics that definitely were practiced, and I wasn't just lucky, absolutely not. Reach the bookstore. Loot all the bookshelves present in here and create a safe spot in that location. Why are we doing this, you may ask? It's because of a very specific mechanic in Termina. You see, randomly, you can only get 1 Book of Enlightenment from the bookshelves, and we already obtained it near the start of the run. But there is a way to get a 2nd Book of Enlightenment. How do you do that? You have to collect every single book available in the game. If you can fulfill that condition, then the next bookshelf you loot will definitely give you 1 Book of Enlightenment. If you think more about it, it's pretty funny. To get a 2nd Book of Enlightenment, you need to be already enlightened by all the knowledge present in the other books. For my plan, we also need a couple more setups. Create a Gargoyle Sigil in the church for later, and reach the orphanage and loot the other bookshelves. Finally, once all the books are in our hands, it is time for the Book of Enlightenment. Now, before using it, farm a lot. And let me repeat it even more. A lot! Up to now, we always tried to not exceed too much with the farming, both for our dignity and for our mental sanity. But the only thing I can say now is, screw this. I am gonna destroy them. Every last one of those idiots that is on this earth. After you've done all the possible farming, save right in front of Father Hugo. And maybe, just maybe, we can finally, once and for all, move on. Here we are still fine because of the hardened heart, and it's over! I'm not even gonna heal myself. Let's just go and kill everyone in the way. Yeah, Granny and neighbor, I think, are true entities! Maybe it's better if I skip the sewers for now. Go to the Hexen and get Rot, Mastery over Vermin, Agility +1, Mischief of Rats, and Pyromancy Trick. Get the effigy from the orphanage, and it's time for the moldy apartments. Let's see if we are freaking unlucky once again with the mob spawn. And we had our answer. Here's the problem. Even if we complete the apartments, once we go outside, we may get stuck because of the mob again. And maybe there won't be any door to hide into. That's why I took a decision in this exact moment. It is better to put an end to this now. Either we lose, or the mob dies forever. The strat I had was like this. Mischief of Rats, and find the time to place a gasoline canister on the ground and destroy it with Pyromancy Trick. The Battlestone, combined with a lot of items, allowed me to keep them stunned for the rest of the battle. If you think about it, it's pretty exciting how we went from not being able to deal with a single villager to defeat the literal mob without a wheelchair. And so, the battle ended. If this doesn't show our new power, I don't know what does. I'm gonna make you skip the whole puzzle in the moldy apartments because nothing really important happened, and we skipped the battle with Moonscorched Marco for now. We are not ready for Moonscorched Marco. Go back to the church, take the last effigy, and now it's finally time for the mausoleum. One step closer to Sergal, the cocoon stopped us. I gotta be honest, I'm pretty sure this is either my first or second fight with Cocoon ever, at least at the time, and I didn't really have any ideas about what I was supposed to do. But fortunately, Mischief of Rats was able to carry the whole fight. Being able to stun all the body parts of the opponent 2 turns is incredibly broken, especially if you have a consistent way to reapply it every time. And I think now you understand why I took Pyromancy Trick. It's just a guaranteed dot that costs around 10 mind, completely free. There is also Mastermind on the way, but it's skippable, and so we arrive to the main obstacle of a normal playthrough. The one enemy which you have to defeat if you want to go into the tower. Pinecone Magnificat. He wields 2 very powerful weapons in his hands, and also has a coin flip attack. But we have an equally powerful weapon. A bunch of rats that cost 35 mind to stun for 2 turns everything. You know, normally Sergal is able to kill a party member in a couple of swings. If he's able to attack at all, I mean. You have no idea how I felt during this battle. It felt almost as if up to now I have been suffocated by someone. And the more I see the stun and the burn slowly corroding Sergal, the more I start to breathe again. The battle is over, and we can claim our prize. The tower place. With that, Donovan's house. And with Donovan's house, the sigil of the god of fear and hunger. And we can finally save our progresses. The plan we had since the start of the stream, or should I say the direction we had since the start of the stream, was finally completed. It is now time to deal with the Moonscorched. Our first stop is the museum, where you can find Moonscorched Tanaka, also called Judgment. Apparently he is able to blind you, but it's like a 30% chance, so it's not really a big deal. We were able to do it on the first try with the usual strategy. Then we went back to the Mausoleum Alley. It is time for Mastermind. Once again, Mischief of Rats is really carrying the run. You know, I already thought this before starting the challenge, and now I think about it even more. I really think Mischief of Rats should get a change. It is just too good, especially considering it's in the skill tree of the God of Fear and Hunger, one of the most useful gods in Termina. And here we arrive to today's question. The previous time I asked you about save scamming. Today the topic is a little bit different. Do you think single-player games should have balance changes? And I don't mean just nerfs, I mean even buffs, for example. Because I know some people may be against this idea, because, you know, if there is something broken you can just not use it, but that's not really a fair argument in my opinion. If there is a skill in the game, I want to have fun with it. But if the skill is just too overpowered and breaks all the possible strategies, I don't know, is that really funny? Of course, to some of you it may be, but I want to hear your opinion regardless. What do you think of buffs and nerfs in a single-player game? Back to the Hexen, it's time to get the Engrave skill. With this we can engrave the sigil of the God of Fear and Hunger on our body to get even more agility. In this way we can achieve an extra turn even without having 2 small things amulet on us. And if it wasn't clear enough, the reason we are killing contestants is not just because it's required to kill rare, but also because with the contestants' heads we can go to our friend Pocket Cat in the museum and get more Book of Enlightenment. Book which we're gonna use right now in front of the mayor in the mayor's manor. But while we kill another contestant, can we take a second to appreciate just how relaxing and normal this challenge became? All we needed was just to pass hours losing and getting destroyed several times by opponents. Now we can actually play the game. This truly feels like the best way to play a game mode called Maso mode. Dysmorphia time, by the way, same strategy as before. Mischief of Rats, very easy. Also I collected some more soulstones from the priest, or by collecting the heads, and went back once again to the Hexen. First of all, we will get La Danse Macabre, of which unfortunately we won't see the animation today, and Blood Sacrifice to be able to get even more affinity to Grogoroth. And after this, it's time to go on the beach and fight Moonscorched Karin. I don't think I'm gonna use the Book of Enlightenment I have, I want to do this first try. And the next, in the extra turn, we use... You know, actually, maybe I am gonna use a Book of Enlightenment, just to be sure that nothing bad happens. But I guess this is the end of part 6. Some more damage! 292 is not a bow! And Valkyrie fell too. After the fight, we take advantage of the Moonscorched villager once again to be able to farm mind. Yes, you can just spend turns in battle with the Battlestone, and you can fully regenerate mind. All these villagers really helped me during the run, so maybe I should give them something in return. Or maybe I should just murder them all, baby! Daddy needs some more heads! 4 more soulstones to use. We get necromancy, meditation, just because we want to get spice forge, and then pheromones. Yes, after all this time, it is finally time to take more party members with us. This on one side will cause us not being able to escape anymore from all the battles, but also on the other side will allow us to kill all the opponents we face. We first take a sickle villager, and then we approach a goal present in the road that leads to the mayor's manor, and we use necromancy.
Keep moving forward, even if you die, even after you die. And after all, this whole ugly story started with you.
I know your name. You are George. Now that we have a fully functional party, it's finally time to do something. Something I wished I could have done dozens of hours ago. It is finally time to take our revenge on the Death Mask.
If we open the equip menu, I should be able to see the magic attack of Olivia and see if it's magic. Oh, wait! We killed it! We killed it, guys!
The Death Mask is finally dead. The one enemy which caused so many problems in the first streams that made us see the game over screens so many times was finally defeated. Now we can also necromancy another sickle villager and use this new power we have to fight Caligula. In this fight there is a scene you may have already seen from one of my YouTube shorts, so why not just skip into that part?
Does he do?
Oh, George! George! Surely George seems special, am I right? Also, George was kinda blinded against an Inquisitor, but this also gives me another possibility. The first time ever that I can recall in which I will use the eyeglasses for their real purpose. But still, we kept killing opponents and getting even more soulstones. Back at the Hexen, we got the self-pleasure skill, flesh puppetry, and hurting on Manolo. Oh, you can't teach skills to a sickle villager. Oh, well, fantastic, I guess. Increase the affection to Sylvian once again, and back at the Hexen get Loving Whispers and French Toss. Do you know why we get French Toss? Because Olivia, even without a wheelchair, has access to that physical skill. So now we effectively have a way which doesn't consume SP at all to damage opponents with Olivia. Marco 2 wasn't that big of a problem. I think I was able to do it first try. Maybe some of my party members went a little bit low, but that's not really a problem, because in the worst case we can still summon the Blood Golem. But here it's when I made the worst realization ever. We will not have enough contestants' heads to be able to get another Book of Enlightenment before Rare. Remember, the last save was before Valkyrie, and we just defeated the majority of the Moon Scourged and obtained a lot of soulstones and the party members. If we lose now, we will have to redo everything. And that's how we arrive to the misclick against Poe.
Run. I didn't. No! I need to go for a second to take some water. Wait here, okay?
Yes! 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 Let's just not talk about that ever again, okay? I should also mention, by this point, I had basically 0 mind restoring items and a very low amount of health restoring items, and we still have to deal with Pocket Cat, Perkele, and Rare. I mean, I saved the best one for last, right? Pocket Cat time! It is a very easy fight, also considering we can just cast pheromones on another party member and just not care at all about the mechanic. Also, I think for this battle I placed arm loss protection on George, so there aren't really any problems at all. Pocket Cat just falls. I think the core idea of this fight is fantastic, but I think it would have been funnier if he was able to bypass arm and leg protection. Because otherwise he just becomes, I don't know, a low damage dealer, which occasionally can stun you. And after a couple of minutes, we were in front of the tower, thinking about the possible best strategy to deal with the others. George is gonna be my main tank. He is gonna wear the hardened heart, while we try to do the best mind economy possible for us. We spent around, I think, 20 minutes trying to come up with a possible strategy. The other villagers are legitimately in there just as meat shields. And now, let's jump into the first battle. Perkele.
Why am I on the wheelchair? Wait, why am I on the wheel... Oh, okay. But why am I on the wheelchair?
Okay, the challenge run was failed, guys. Good night, thanks so much for coming, see ya! Perkele battle does something that I would love every single boss battle could do. It is able to trivialize the use of the hardened heart. You see, not only Perkele uses Lunar Meteorite with one arm, but with the other arm he's able to use Feather Storm, which attacks multiple times the same opponent. Needless to say, this attack is able to completely disable the hardened heart, in case it attacks you when you are at low HP. Our strategy was to cast pheromones on our main tank, George, and then slowly try to be able to chip in some damage. Technically already, after casting pheromones, we could just spend the whole fight healing with Loving Whispers George, and theoretically, if we are not too unlucky, we should be able to win. The villagers and the ghoul are dealing damage after all. But at one point, I decided to implement something new. We are also gonna alternate the healing with Wrench Toss to deal some extra damage. Also, I should specify that that wing is able to reflect the majority of the otherworldly attacks. And regardless of that, I do not want to use magic to attack. I need every single mind point I have. Remember, I don't have mind restoring items anymore. We need every single point of mind. Even with the mind regen, we are barely able to keep up with Perkele. We stayed in this endless cycle of attacking, healing, for, and I'm not joking, 35 minutes. And so, the first and the easiest phase of the final battle has been completed. Why the easiest? You're gonna see in a second. Why is rare that much of a problem? Because of one simple attack called Lunar Storm. Lunar Storm deals damage to every single opponent. And we absolutely do not have enough mind to be able to consistently heal us, George, and the villagers. That's why here I had to make a choice. Who is gonna stay alive? Do I just let everyone else die and try to solo air? Or do I keep someone with me? Looking back, I don't think I even had a choice. My plan for this battle was to find good moments to use double pyromancy trick, hoping to slowly grind all the body parts of Rare and eventually win the battle. There was just one little problem. I was realizing, if Rare decides to use too many times in a row Lunar Storm, then we lose. We don't have a way to heal so many times. The mind is finishing, and I am starting to sweat. But just when I was starting to doubt again, George was there to back me up.
So maybe... Nah, I don't believe it until I see it. I don't believe it. Guys?
Apparently, in some cases, the one-winged necklace is able to reduce the damage you take to 0. But even after witnessing to it, I don't really agree. Looking from a gameplay perspective, it may seem the only explanation, but if you think more about it, what we just witnessed was the beginning of something. Something conceived by George himself. His own rambling.
500 damage for... We did it, guys! We did it, guys!
I don't know about you, but when I rethink about Fear and Hunger Termina, one of the first things that comes to my mind is the bond we created with George. It is so fascinating to me how this simple PNG was able to create his own space into my heart. And if there is even one single thing we can save from this video, it's definitely him. Oh boy, I think we're almost at 50 minutes of audio recording. I still have to edit the whole thing, and it's almost a Sunday here. But anyways, if you liked the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I decided to make this recap in preparation for the mega update the developer will release. There will be more content, there will be more possibilities, we will have more knowledge, and maybe, who knows, we will remake this challenge with more stuff. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. But for now, I was Frapolo94, I hope you had fun, and I will see you next time.